All right, here we are live on this Friday morning as we track line of severe thunderstorms moving through the metro region right now. Pretty intense line.
This is Mike.
And Mike, we're watching your stream right now. What kind of winds do you got? Winds do you have there?
Probably 40 plus here. You see that flag there that's about 50 feet long is stretched out completely. So the strongest, I had some pretty strong little bursts there in that weird little stagnant area along the leading edge. Not a very tight gradient right here in Midtown. I'm at 21st Street here and I-44. Definitely stronger winds to my north, but this is where I was at whenever it ran over me here. But I did not get any gusts that were severe. I probably had a couple of gusts that were up to about 50, 55 at most. But, I haven't seen any power flashes, no damage or anything like that here, Mike. But further north, it looks way more intense up by Oologah, Talala, Collinsville.
Yeah, absolutely. See that little bulge. We see that on radar right now. We see the flag in the background, of course, flying pretty strong. So that is a sign that winds are moving through the metro region right now. A lot of heavy rain associated with this as well. Of course, the lightning's been pretty impressive too, right?
Definitely, a lot of lightning, a lot of cloud run lightning out ahead of this thing, like along the leading edge of the shelf cloud. Had a couple of close bolts that, made me roll my window up because they were just a little too close for comfort. But, there's one right there. So good timing when I switched the camera, there's a bolt right there. So a lot of people being woken up by this. New severe thunderstorm warning for the south side of it. Winds have been dropped down to 60, but still with the tornado possible tag and up to 1.25-inch hail for Coweta all the way down to Beggs. So the new warning for the south side of this thing.
Yeah, and so again, I see the flag moving. Looks, generally about 40, 45 miles per hour, maybe. Was that what you would say?
I think that's about it. And it's not sustained either. It's very sporadic gusts. It's not a big wall of wind. It's pretty sporadic here. I'm also not along the leading edge anymore. I'm kind of behind that leading edge now. So, all the weird little notches in this thing, really keeping it from just being a big blowing wall of wind, but also, kind of enhancing a little bit of inflow potential in a couple of areas, but nothing too sustained, nothing too wild at the moment. But, right here where I'm at, 40-mile-per-hour winds at most, Mike.
Okay. So, again, strong winds moving through the metro region right now. Nothing too wild. Luckily, nothing tornadic at this point in time, but the potential for some damaging winds through the metro over the next hour. Nothing tornadic that we see right now, so that is good news this morning. A lot of heavy rainfall and the potential for, of course, some flash flooding over the next hour. So that's something we have to watch as this line continues to move through the metro region right now. Strong winds, leading edge from Foyle to Claremore down to the Broken Arrow area into Jinx and Bixby as this tracks to the southeast, moving I'd say about 30 miles per hour to the south, about 35 miles per hour to the southeast. So this is going to continue to move east towards Highway 69, eventually into Pryor, Muskogee, and the Henrietta area. Still, Mike, just, that rain's whipping around and, that looks to be the primary concern.
Yeah, the flag's a little more stretched out now, but, as soon as I tell you that, the wind dies back down. So very, very sporadic little pockets of 40, 45, and then, as soon as it's worth mentioning, it's over. So.
Luckily, that we're not seeing anything tornadic right now. Looking at velocities, we have to watch a little area up towards Foyle, kind of on that northern edge of that band of heavier rain, just east of Oologah. There is a little bit of an area that of concern just northwest of Foyle, so you have to watch that. But in the metro region, mainly just some strong winds rolling through the area this morning. So, Mike, have you seen any tornadic activity earlier this morning?
I have not. I was out in Gilcrease Hills just watching that tornado warning roll our direction, and fortunately, everything that happened, it was pretty intense. A couple of different cycles, but it was always short-lived. where you had a small circulation develop, and then it would broaden out, and on the south side, winds would get up to about 80, maybe up to 90 up by Marland, and then again east of Fairfax near Winona. And then, it's always pretty short-lived. These bookend vortices don't last very long, and really the straight line winds on the south side of the circulation end up being a bigger deal than the tornadic vortex itself. And, that's kind of what we see with these QLCS type of events. Anyways, it's pretty rare for them to last very long or do anything too significant, but those areas on the north side of Rogers County over there are they're trying. It's just the classic little bookend on the north side of a big strong wall of wind. So
right. Definitely a lot of the lightning, the thunder waking people up this morning, Mike. We're watching your stream. We've got a lot of people joining in live now on this Friday morning as this line of severe weather continues to move to the south. No power flashes still, right? So that's good.
Correct.
Okay. So a lot of heavy rainfall, some strong, potentially damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour as this line continues to move to southeast through the area. And again, on kind of the lower end of the severe spectrum. So we're not getting those 70, 80 mile an hour winds. Have you seen anything like that over the past hour?
Personally, no, but there have been the smaller pockets up across Osage. I know there's damage north of Hominy, south of Winona on 99. There were some power lines down, but any burst of wind that was over the 60 or 70 mile an hour threshold was very short-lived, and the circulations were pretty quick spin up and then spin down, and as we typically see with these leftover early morning stuff. So.
And the good news is it's moving pretty fast, so it should be out of here within the next 45 minutes out of the metro region. So conditions will improve drastically. So is this your new streaming setup you've got going on?
Yeah, and I've got it to where when if I lose connection here, then my home computer takes over and says, hold on, stream will be back whenever I get better cell signal, and then it comes back. So.
Well, luckily you haven't lost streaming coverage there, so that's good. Still, the more intense area, Mike, still just northwest of Foyle on that northern side, as we mentioned. Nothing imminent as far as tornadic activity, but still something that's the area to watch as this line gusts out right here in Claremore and pushes east towards Pryor, and it's this area here that we'd watch, but nothing eye-catching at this point in time, but just a lot of wind moving through the metro. We did have a tornado, or still have a tornado warning down towards Chandler on the southwestern side of this line and down towards Norman as well. But the rate of these thunderstorms in the metro moving east pretty quickly should help keep the tornadic activity a little lower. The ones further south that are dragging along, maybe a little different story, but now in the metro region, wind gusts up to 40 to 60 miles per hour possible as this line continues to move to the southeast into Broken Arrow, into Bixby. I can hear the winds right now moving through the metro. Again, nothing too bad, Mike, so that's good. And then that line extends to the north towards Claremore. Does wrap around a little bit in the Foyle area, so we'll have to watch this little spot for maybe some rotation. If that would develop, that would be in that vicinity. And then we have another severe thunderstorm warning up in the Veneta area as that continues to track east. So severe thunderstorm in Veneta, severe line moving through Claremore right now, moving in through Broken Arrow and Sapulpa, tracking to the southeast. And Mike, it's looked pretty consistent on your live cam, not anything too crazy, but still the thunder waking people up. Of course the strong winds now picking up across the south side, waking people up as well.
Yeah, and 20, 30 minutes ago, whenever I texted you, I thought it could be worse than this. We had a couple of little problem areas that I like to try and beat them to the punch and say, well, this looks like it might do this, might do this. Just give a little extra warning. Unfortunately, none of those areas really turned into anything. And still a couple of weird little pockets. It looks like there's a pretty strong gust of wind by Sapulpa moving up towards Jenks. But, those are barely severe criteria in the stronger pockets. So, You know, it either, like you said a couple days ago, it either ramps up really hard as it gets here, or it dies off right as it gets here. So.
Right, right. All right, Mike, I'm going to continue to let you track it on Facebook as well. So appreciate you so much as this line can move southeast. Again, it's on the lower end of the severe weather spectrum, so that is good news. Heavy rainfall, strong, potentially maybe up to damaging wind potential as it moves to east across the area. Earlier, it was a little more intense up in Osage County. But still, nonetheless, heed the warning, Mike, and appreciate you being out there this morning.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. We'll keep you updated through the morning hours. Mike Scanlon will be taking over and updating as needed.